Good morning. It's Devorah, InStory Live, Friday morning. So, wishing you a great weekend, Shabbat Shalom. And I am using my earbuds now because I think I blew out my cell phone recorder with microphone with my shofar blowing. so, so we're still on kind of a theme of what sort of, I guess I kind of talked about self-care and soul nourishment. And today I want to talk a little bit about what story are you telling yourself about yourself? Like, think about it. Like, you have a lot of choices about what you say to yourself about what's happening. Hi, Janice. Good morning. And like, I spent some time this morning doing my own inner process, inner guidance work. And as I do this work, hi Lisa Beth, as I do this work, as we all do, you're going to bump into your old stories. And so what do you do when you bump into some old thinking? Hi Janice, good morning. So you have a few choices. Hi Anna, my gang. I'm so happy you guys are here. And what I want you to take time to notice and pause. You know, I'm always teaching pause, notice, and shift. So I'm now involved in a new thing, and you guys can check this out if you want. I'm involved, hi Lena, in something called LifeWorks University. LifeWorks University. And it's basically a whole platform and whole organization for teaching how to use the book Think and Grow Rich. And what Don Coate, who started it, what he taught was super interesting. And he said, when people read this book, Think and Grow Rich, he says there's a secret. And it's almost impossible to tell what the secret of that book is. And the secret is not what's in the book, the secret. The secret is not specifically the law of abundance. Turns out the secret is two things: having a vision and having what he calls a mastermind, which is a supportive group to support you in mastering your vision and making your vision happen. I thought, oh my gosh, that's what we do in my InStory group. And I was listening to him. You know, a lot of times what I do is I share with you what has inspired me in the morning that I talk to you. I was up early and I had a lot of inspiration before coming on to this video this morning. And I listened to a conversation between these two people who have been working together for a long time and have a lot of higher level thinking. And I don't know if you've ever had this experience where you've heard about something for a long time and it dawns on you what it really means. So you've all heard the term mastermind. So normally I just think of it as a very supportive group of people helping each other with a shared vision. Well, when I'm listening to the two of them talk, they talked about how when you are in a small group with two or more people and you have a conversation that kind of goes back and forth and each person goes, oh yeah, you know, that makes me think of this, which makes me think of this, which makes me think of this, and you have like a new spark, he said, that's when you activate the mastermind. And I went, the mastermind, not a mastermind group, the mastermind, meaning God. I was like, duh. I know this is really crazy, but I really never thought about the concept of a mastermind being in such engaged, elevated, visionary conversation and interaction that you activate your awareness of infinite intelligence. Like, seriously, people, I know I do this. I know we do it with each other. I just never thought of calling it. I don't know. It's just one of those moments. And then I thought, well, this connects to a very profound thing in my tradition, because my Jewish tradition the way of traditional Jewish learning is in a pair. It has a name. It's called a chavruta, which comes from the word friend. Traditional Jewish learning is done in a big hall or a big room together, and people sit in partners and they study a text together with that back and forth. And it dawned on me, oh my gosh, I'm in a tradition. We've been doing that all along. Hi, Annette. And this is what's happening now in our communities where we're getting into groups. Like I have, like that's what we do in my InStory group. Someone posts something and someone else adds something, and then someone goes, oh my gosh, I never thought of that. And then a complete opening happens that would not have happened if you were just thinking of it all by yourself. Okay, so I get excited. So, but that, it was one of those moments where I went, I know this is happening, but I wasn't able to put language on it in that way. So a mastermind, a group that you call a mastermind, is a group where people come together in a harmonious way to create vision together, right? And each person can have their own vision, but they're the vision that we're helping each other. And that's why we join groups of like-minded people. So people who join InStory all agree that we value being deep and a little wacky. And at the same time, we also value that we have something to say, that our inner soul calling has value, that our natural gifts have value. And we've been in the whole discussion about not hiding. So Lena and I were messaging yesterday, back and forth after my video yesterday, and my theme of my coming InStory show that's going to come up in the middle of November really has a lot to do with two things. It's finally your turn, and it's finally your turn to come out of hiding. And what that means is to actually share your creative vision, your ideas, your story, your soul calling, and the women who have the courage to join either my short reveal course, and some of you, Janice and Anna, were in that, and join my InStory group, which you guys are in now. When you do that, what you're saying is that I am finally taking a turn for myself, for my inner vision, to support what I have to say. And when you do that, it allows you to become able to do that for the next person. But the catch is, as you begin this journey, as we all begin it, is we don't have the confidence. We just don't have the confidence in ourselves. And you bump into all of those old stories, which is kind of where I started, what are the old stories that you're telling yourself, and catch them and shift them. So that is also the work I was doing this morning, was catching and shifting my old stories. As I vision my business growing, I, just like you, I have to walk through how successful am I allowed to be, so to speak. Like maybe I'm not worthy or deserving or good enough or all that. And so when I see those, the work I've learned in so many forms is, first you see it, you see the old story, you feel the old story, you acknowledge it, and then you let it go. And there's lots and lots of techniques for that. But it's important that we see it. Like you see the old story, go up, right? Like, I am not listening to you. You know how I love to say, get in the backseat, eat your ice cream, I'm driving. But I also do a whole guided process for imagine that you're putting those old stories into a sphere of golden light and releasing them. Many years ago, I also learned a process for you sort of say the positive thing. For example, I'm worthy, and then you like extremely exaggerate the opposite. Like, no, I'm just terrible, horrible, blah, 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 until you laugh a little, and then you go back to I am worthy. It's like, oh yeah, maybe I really am worthy because that other stuff just is not true anymore. And this is the work, okay? It's just the work. People say to me often, like, why is this coming up for me again? I'm like, because it is, because it will. But you know what? You see it, you process it, you clear it, and you get back up. And so what is happening is that we're becoming able to move the process up. It's not that you're not going to still bump into old stories and old issues and voices and struggles. It's just that it moves up to a higher level and you clear it so much more quickly. And so this is one of the things I teach all the time is just get back up and also notice your progress. Don't just notice your gaps. okay? Seriously, notice your progress. Remember how far you've come. If you have fallen down into an old story, an old feeling, and you notice you did that, you're like, oh, I can't believe I'm here again. That noticing allows you to clear it and pay attention to how much more quickly you are able to do that. Seriously, this is a big thing, because if you look back, you will notice that at other times in your life, you were stuck in those old stories much more deeply and for much longer. Okay? So we have to notice our progress. This is just a huge piece. So those are my encouragements for you as you go into the weekend. Take all the things I've talked about this week, taking time for yourself. That third of your day is working on yourself, self-care, soul nourishment, deep, creative, expressive, healing work, all that stuff. Do that and value it. And notice, if you're in my InStory group, we got you covered. But if you're not in a group that's like a mastermind for you, either with one person or a group, make sure you find that. It turns out that if you have a vision without support, it doesn't happen, honestly. And, I told you I'm involved in, if you're interested to find out more about LifeWorks University, ask me. It's something I'm super interested in. And I almost quit on it, and I like his vision in there because I hadn't started my little mastermind group. And now that we're meeting, I feel reinvigorated and recommitted. And I think that is the significance of being part of something. Hi, Gladys. And so being part, so here's the thing. In Think and Grow Rich, the secret is you have to have a vision. You have to know what you want and trust that you want it. And you have to have a mastermind in order to access the mastermind, which is God, right? That infinite intelligence. So ask yourself, are you part of a group that adores you, loves you, supports you, and challenges you and grows with you? And if you're in my InStory group, we so have you covered. We are so doing that. And if you're not, find one. Find mine, find someone else's, and trust that you are worth it. This is a big part of our work, is the worthiness thing. And so stay tuned, because coming in about 6 weeks is going to be my next InStory show, which is all about, it's finally your turn to really tap into your creative expression. And so remember this weekend to nourish your soul, trust that you're worthy, connect with somebody and share. And as always, remember to go out in the world, share your story, live your purpose, and be a blessing. And talk to me. Reach out to me. Bye, folks.